The Ashes of Korazin, and Proverbs chapter 14, verse 34. The once great city of Korazin rose from the southern plains like a crown of marble and gold. Built near the banks of the sea, it was a marvel of architecture, art, and order, a beacon for traders, thinkers, and kings. Her spires scraped the heavens, and her courts rang with justice. People whispered that even the neighboring kings paused to admire her glory. But that was 50 years ago. Now Korazin is dust. Jonas trudged along the crumbling stone path, boots crunching over the shards of what had once been the Hall of Judgments. He wasn't old enough to remember the city and its glory, but his mother used to sing lullabies about the Festival of First Light, when every citizen held a lantern to the sky in honor of the Creator. That was before the rot set in. Jonas knelt by a fallen column, its marble face still faintly etched with the national creed. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 34. He ran his fingers across the worn inscription, tracing each letter like a prayer. Behind him, footsteps, light, steady. "It's strange," said a voice, "how the truth can stand long after the walls have fallen." Jonas turned to see Zoe, the only other scholar still foolish enough to study the ruins. She carried a leather satchel full of scrolls and soot. "They carved that verse into every gate, every courthouse," she said, gesturing around them, "and still they forgot it." Jonas looked at her sharply. They didn't forget, they chose to ignore it. Korazin had been a city of laws, but in the twilight of its reign, law gave way to luxury. The judges took bribes. The merchants used dishonest scales. Truth became an inconvenience, and pleasure a god. They stole the land of widows and orphans. The turning point, historians agreed, came during the year of the Golden Decree. The High Council repealed the ancient codes that protected the poor and upheld the Sabbath. They called it progress. They promised freedom, prosperity, and peace. Instead, they got riots, plague, and war. Neighboring tribes, once in awe of Korazin, turned against her. Her alliances collapsed like clay jars. And when the famine came, her proud leaders fled, leaving the people to burn the temple for warmth. Jonas stood, brushing dust from his knees. "Why do we come back here, Zoe?" She pulled a scroll from her satchel, an original copy of the Civic Covenant, smudged but legible. "Because someone has to remember," she said. "And someone has to tell the next city what happens when righteousness is traded for the excesses of evil." Jonas stared at the cracked horizon. The sun bled through thick clouds like a fading memory. In the distance, new settlements were rising, strong stone and wooden structures, full of ambition and youth. "They think they're different," he said. "They always do," Zoe responded. Yet the old proverb etched in stone echoes its indelible truth from the dust. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 34.